On the 21st of July, 2023, last year, police officer, the late Sergeant Uvaraja, committed suicide. Just before his passing away, he put up a Facebook post. He made several statements. In this matter, allegations were made against the police by a police officer. A full investigation is important. If there is wrongdoing, it must be dealt with and it will be dealt with, and errant officers must be taken to task. The allegations are unfounded. The facts have to be set out, and we will defend the police publicly and robustly. If that is not done and untruths are allowed to fester, morale in SPF will go down and public trust will be eroded. I will deal with 4 aspects in this statement. First, the allegations and findings. The investigations found that, 1, some of the allegations were true, and in respect of these, there had been investigations at the time the complaints were made, and actions had been taken at that time, and some officers had been disciplined, punished. And second, some of the allegations made by Uvaraja were untrue. After the police had completed their internal investigations, their findings were reviewed by AGC, and AGC was satisfied and determined that no further actions were needed. Moving to the second aspect of my ministerial statement, I will set out how the police had supported Uvaraja. Investigation showed that Uvaraja was dealing with a number of personal issues, some at the time of his passing, and some for periods throughout his police career. These included health problems as well as family problems. Police had allowed Uvaraja to take substantial amounts of time off over the years. While Uvaraja was at work, his superiors assessed that his performance was generally below average and had provided guidance to him. The third aspect of my ministerial statement, I will now describe the Home Team's framework to deal with workplace harassment and grievances. There can be no tolerance for any form of harassment or discrimination in the SPF. A core pillar of this framework is training. During induction and training of new staff from the junior ranks to senior officer levels, officers are trained on SPF's code of ethics, workplace harassment, and the actions to be taken if they are victims or witnesses. Supervisors are also specifically trained on ways to create a harassment-free workplace and support victims of workplace harassment. On the ground, the ministry conducts 6 monthly pulse surveys, biannual public service employee engagement surveys, and 3 triennial 360-degree surveys of supervisors. These are all avenues where officers can also provide anonymous comments and feedback, including on workplace issues. Finally, the fourth aspect of my ministerial statement, I will touch on my ministry's efforts to support the mental well-being of our officers. Our officers have access to a range of support, such as MHA's in-house psychological services, 2 peer support programs where fellow officers are trained as para-counselors, and 3 a 24/7 helpline managed in-house by our psychologists and para-counselors, as well as 4 external agency-administered services. Let me conclude by briefly setting out our perspective on how we handle these matters. Policing is not easy, and it's not getting easier either in Singapore or around the world. The vast majority of our officers are honest, they have strong ethos, strong esprit de corps, and integrity. They go on duty day in, day out, put their personal safety on the line to keep Singapore safe. And so, when we find that statements made against officers or the force are unfair, then we will defend the police officers and the SPF robustly